Now, after an astonishing 5th title in a row last season, it's clear the Bundesliga is very much Bayern Munich's. But what the club are really out for is the Champions League. Now, this year it's going to be even harder because Arsenal, against whom Bayern Munich tend to get what amounts to a free pass every year, haven't qualified. Ancelotti's got a job in his hands, and we're going to take a look at the 11 that he might field to get that job done. There are, of course, no surprises in between the sticks. Manuel Neuer has been at Bayern since 2011, and the best keeper in the world isn't going anywhere. He missed the end of last season after suffering a broken foot against Real Madrid in the Champions League, but Ancelotti says he'll be back in time for Bayern's first league game against Bayer Leverkusen in August. On to the defence. As with the rest of the 11, Bayern's backline never changes around all too much. They only conceded 22 goals in the league last year, so Ancelotti won't want to be making too many changes. But with Philipp Lahm retired after 12 years of service in Munich, there are a big pair of boots to fill at the Allianz Arena. Bayern, along with Chelsea, had been in the race to land Kyle Walker, but after he went off to the Etihad, they'll have to make do with what they've got. That means that Joshua Kimmich will be stepping up to the plate. The 22-year-old admitted recently that he was disappointed with last season and wished that he'd got more playing time. Now, with Lahm out the way and after a stellar run out at the Confederations Cup, it appears that Kimmich's time has come. In central defence, there's another Bayern mainstay whose place is never in doubt. Mats Hummels showed again why he's one of the best centre-backs in the world last season, not least with an almost superhuman tackle in a match against Eintracht Frankfurt. Hummels is here to stay. Alongside him, things get a bit more tricky. Ancelotti has just signed Niklas Süle, who played a crucial role in the surprise Bundesliga success of TSG Hoffenheim last season, but it won't be easy for him to break through at Bayern. Jerome Boateng is also an option, but despite the fact that his partnership with Hummels won a World Cup for Germany, his claim to a starting place is somewhat weakened after a long struggle with injury. We think it's Javi Martinez who will feature most in Munich next season. He held his own last year and made 25 appearances. That's one more than even Hummels. Munich's defence isn't broken, and there's no need for Ancelotti to fix it. That's also the motto at left back. Bayern were briefly trying to get their hands on Hoffenheim's Jeremy Toljan, but he now looks like he might be off to Real Madrid. Juan Bernat is also available for Ancelotti, but he can't keep David Alaba out of a spot. The Austrian has won 6 titles with Bayern and seen 4 coaches come and go in his time without ever losing his place in the side. He's a cornerstone of the team, and Alaba is staying put. That's the back 4 firmly in place. Let's take a look now at the midfield. Ancelotti does have plenty of choices, but his squad is getting old and there are a number of players kicking around who will soon enough be leaving the training ground for the last time, hopping onto the dialer ride and getting packed straight off to the retirement home. It's the hangers-on versus the young guns. And fresh blood is winning the day in centre mid. Xabi Alonso trotted off behind Philipp Lahm into retirement at the end of last season, and while he's certainly no easy act to follow, the most expensive player in Bundesliga history is going to give it a crack. Corentin Tolisso came to Bayern from Lyon for no less than 41 million euros at the start of July. It's a heavy price tag for a 22-year-old, but they're not reckless spenders down in Bavaria, so when they drop that kind of cash on a player, you know that they intend to get the best out of it. It won't be an easy task for the Frenchman to keep his world-class teammates on the bench and maintain his place in the side, but Ancelotti had been watching him for a long time and is clearly convinced that he's the man he needed. Next to Tolisso, we could have new signing Sebastian Rudy, but as with his former Hoffenheim teammate Süle, Rudy is likely to be spending more time on the bench than on the ball at Bayern this season. If Schalke's Leon Goretzka makes his long-awaited move later on in the year, he'll be stiffening the competition for a place even further. Chilean bruiser Arturo Vidal played a crucial role for Bayern last season, and he's even been doing his best to tempt his mate Alexis Sanchez from the Emirates to the Allianz. As yet to no avail. But at 30, Vidal's days are numbered. We think it will be Tolisso and Thiago in the centre this season. Thiago has won the league in 8 of the past 9 seasons he's played in. 4 at Barca and 4 at Bayern. At 26, he's got plenty of life left in him, but he doesn't lack the experience to set an example to his fresh-faced partner. Now, we've so far left out Arturo Vidal, Jerome Boateng and Sebastian Rudy, among others. And before you kick off at us, do know it gives us no pleasure. Going forward, things get even trickier. Ancelotti has got to make some big decisions and bench some big names. Let's take a look at who we think will make the cut. Last summer, Mourinho made an £85 million bid for our next player, and the rumours recently flared up again about a possible switch to Old Trafford. Thomas Müller had a disappointing time last year, scoring only 5 Bundesliga goals, although even he managed to poke one past Arsenal in the Champions League. But with Ancelotti confirming that he's staying in Munich, and after a couple of solid pre-season performances, Müller looks set to get back to the dazzling form that had Mourinho fawning over him in the first place. Out on the right, Juventus loanee Kingsley Coman got close to a Bayern breakthrough last year, making 19 appearances and scoring 2 goals. He's put pen to paper and signed a permanent deal in Munich, and no doubt his future there will be bright, but he's not quite ready just yet to unseat the one and only Iron Robin. With 1 year left on his contract, it won't be long before the former Chelsea man hangs up his boots. But as Europe's defences have apparently still not learned not to let him cut in onto his left foot, it's hard to see Ancelotti dumping Robin all too soon. Robin's other half, Ribéry, has always had the face of a man twice his age, but last season his legs started to show some signs of wear as well. We reckon his days are all but done. Renato Sanchez, meanwhile, has had Klopp, Conte, Mourinho and co swooning over him all summer, but it seems Ancelotti wants Sanchez on his bench for another season. He's just landed Colombian James Rodríguez from Real Madrid on a 2-year loan. James prefers to play as a number 10, but he said recently that he's happy to do whatever the boss tells him. And with his vicious left foot, he's dangerous from anywhere. Anyway, left wing is obviously the position for him. Last season, he scored in 30% of the games he played out on the right, 33% of the games he played at number 10, but 100% of the games he played out on the left. Right, we've got one last spot left to fill. Bayern needs somebody to lead the line. New signing Serge Gnabry isn't exactly an out-and-out striker, and it doesn't matter because he's been packed off to Hoffenheim on loan for the season anyway. No, there is only one man for the job. Robert Lewandowski. The Polish powerhouse bagged a staggering 43 goals in all competitions last year, including 4 hat-tricks. There really is no competition for this position. Ancelotti's so certain that Lever's always going to be there that he's never even bothered to buy a replacement, and so far his gamble has paid off a treat. Right then, that's us. What do you think? Is there anybody in there who you wouldn't have? Did we leave anybody out who you think definitely needs to be there? We all know the Bundesliga is Bayern's, but do you think that's a team which can challenge for the Champions League, or should Ancelotti have done a bit more shopping? Remember to let us know, and we'll see you next time. I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about.